me the story.
So, we're ready?
We're ready.
Okay, so from the beginning, I was a real hot mess 2 years ago when we met, and my life was in, I would say, a total chaos. Married for 25 years, 2 daughters, 18 and 21. They were, 2 years less back then. Had just recently changed careers from business to acting, moved to New York from Venezuela. Like, my whole life just was changing. And I wasn't handling the change very well at that moment. I mean, I was doing fine in many areas, but others were, like, financially, it was just really, really bad. It was getting worse by the day, which it ended up that I ended consuming all my savings. And, okay, I'm back. So I talked to Steve, and he says that he does this manifestation thing, which I've always been very spiritual or esoteric or whatever you want to call it. And I've always looked for things to improve myself. I've done therapy for many, many years. I started therapy in my early 20s, I think. I was raped back then when I was 19, and that's what started me in therapy. But therapy worked, but then I got stuck many, many times, and things weren't moving as fast as I would like to. So when Steve told me about this thing, I said, okay, maybe we'll do it. And Steve, I don't remember how long it took, but it took me a couple of weeks because it wasn't right then and there. I think one day I was like really desperate, and we're talking, and I'm crying, and I'm explaining to him what's going on, and he says, let's freaking do this thing. I remember that I said, okay, let me go do my list. And he's like, nope, just grab a pencil and paper and let's do it right now. And I honestly, I don't think I ever told you this, or maybe I did, but, I thank you and God for pushing me to do it right then and there, because I probably would have postponed that a little bit longer. And maybe only because I didn't believe it was going to work. Not that, I had anything against doing stuff like that, but I was like in such a chaos that I said, I mean, how is this thing going to work? So finally we get to it. I do it, and one of the main things that I had in the list was that I wanted to see my daughters. My daughters had gone back to Venezuela with their father, and that broke my heart more than the divorce 1,000 times. I was really, really in bad shape when they left. So one of the first things I got on my list was to see them, whether it was me going to Venezuela or them coming. Me going was practically very, I was going to say impossible, but I didn't have my passport in order. My visa was not in order. So if I left the country, I wasn't going to be able to come back in. And then them coming, they're in class, they're in school. Anyway, a week after I do my list, I'm talking to my husband, and he says, oh, by the way, I talked to the girls, and I think Easter is a good time for them to go visit you. I kid you not, that I was like, what? We had never talked about this. We never, nothing of this sort came up. I wasn't talking to him that much. So,
yeah, and wasn't Easter like 2 weeks later?
To this day, I don't know what made him. It was probably a week or two, or some. I know it was some days later. I mean, it wasn't like a month after I did the exercise. It was soon after I did the exercise. I can't remember exactly when that he called and said that. And then in April, sure enough, they came and stayed with me for almost 3 weeks. And I was like, when he called and he told me that, I was shocked. Not because I remembered the list, because I honestly didn't at that moment. But, I was shocked because I was going to see my girl. But then, I don't remember if it was after we spoke or a day. I'm like, wait a minute. And I'm going over my list, and I'm like, this is the first thing I have in my list, to see the girls. And I was like, oh, my God. But that happened some days, or like I say, maybe a week or two after. But the most surprising one was this crazy thing that happened the day after. And I remember Steve telling me, you got to be specific when you write your list. And you guys are doing the list right now, and I'm going to tell you this because you got to be really specific, and this is really personal, but I got to share it with you. So one of the things in my list was that I wanted a partner. I'm in the middle of a divorce, so I don't want marriage. I just want someone to share my life with, someone to go to the movies, someone to go out, of course to have sex, but it was more about having someone, because I felt so alone. And, I'm in New York. I don't have family here. I am very friendly, and I have friends, but it's not the same. So I wanted someone. So, and I'm in Florida at the time, because it was right after Date with Destiny where I met Steve. And I was staying at a cousin's house who had left, and he said, just stay in my house, take care of it, and, you go back to New York, which is where I live, whenever you can. Yeah, so I did that. So the list and the exercise I did, I remember at my cousin's house. So I put that I want this partner, I want someone to have fun. I am so sorry I don't have the wording because I have it on my notes. But so I wrote that, did the exercise. The next day, I go to Barnes & Noble in Coral Gables to look for a book that I need for a play that I'm writing. So I go to Barnes & Noble, they close the library, the bookstore, and I leave. And if any of you know that area, they set up a huge, big Christmas tree in a roundabout that they have there. And I thought it was so pretty because I wasn't in New York to see my Christmas big tree here at Rockefeller Center, so I decided to stop at the roundabout to take a picture of the tree. But there's really not much space where to park. So I sort of just slide into this entrance of a building, and I park the car there, and I get out of the car, and I start taking pictures as the lights are blinking in my car. And I was just in one of those days that I was like really happy, because this was after Date with Destiny. I was sort of pumped up, and life is going to be good, everything is going to be good, I'm positive. So I'm like just looking at the tree, really happy, and this car pulls over. And I'm sort of blocking the entrance. And I say, oh, you need to go. And they go, no, that's fine. No worries. I can slide here. But he just stays there. Long story short, guys, we park our cars next to each other, blocking the entrance of the building, and we start talking. And I spend about an hour and a half talking to this man. And there was an instant attraction between us two. It was like absolutely crazy. He didn't know what the hell was going on. I didn't know what the hell was going on. He even invited me to his apartment. He's like, I live right here. And I'm like, no. So I did not go up to the apartment. That sort of ended there. Nothing else happened. But then I went home and I said, excuse my French, what the F just happened? Because, it was like we spoke about this. It was like I knew this man all my life. It was like so comfortable. We were talking, we're like, but then, when he said, come up to my apartment, just reason hit me, and I'm like, oh, I don't know. For all I know, he might be a serial killer. And, but then I looked at my list, and I said, okay, I guess I got to be more specific. It's not just anybody who pops up. But then that's the second thing, you know. And another thing I wrote in my list, I was at the time living in Bayside, and I needed to move, and I wanted to find an apartment. That took a little bit longer, and I think I did that on my second exercise. I described exactly the room, the place. So I wanted it with light, with big windows, blah, 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 blah. I saw 1,000 places in New York. I mean, here it's like kind of crazy. I was about to take a place, and I didn't. So then I talked to this girl, and she says, come see this through Facebook. So I go to the apartment, and I see a room, which was her room. And I said, oh, my God, this is great. This is just like what I want. But she already had taken that room. So she says, you know, take the one in the back. It's the second biggest one. And I'm like, yeah, I'm down. You know, it was bright as well. I think maybe 2 days after I saw the apartment, she sends me a text, and she says, you know what, I think I'm going to need more room and more privacy for when my boyfriend comes. Why don't you take the room in the front, the one that's mine, instead of the back one? And I kid you not, every time I walk in my room, which I love because it's bright, the light, I think of what I wrote on that list, and it's exactly the room that I had described in my list. Another thing I have put in my because I've done it 3 times. The last one I did a couple of weeks ago. And the second one, I need my visa approved right now. I'm from Venezuela. And I was extending my visa. That now with the Trump situation, you know, who knows what's going to happen? Because I'm an actor. Okay, I lost you guys for a second. Okay, I'm back. So anyway, I don't have all the credits that the visa requires because I'm not Meryl Streep in this country, et cetera, but I applied for my visa. I have done a lot of work. Long story short, my visa gets approved in 2 weeks. And my friends say that they have no explanation as to why my visa was approved in 2 weeks when they have been waiting months. And they've been asked for all kinds of documentation and proof again. And my visa was approved in 2 weeks. In my new list, I wrote again about my partner or the man that I want to share my life with. This is hilarious. I'm talking to you guys about this, and this friend of mine is texting me on my phone right now. That's why I lost communication with you guys. So for this last one, I did about a month ago, I think. And since then, I've had maybe 2 months. Since then, I've been approached by at least 5 people. One of them who's texting me right now, and I wish you could see my screen, that just want to be with me. Like, I don't know, this guy wants me to move with him almost to his place. And I was telling Steve, it's funny because he probably told you this already. Once it starts manifesting, you got to scratch it off so it doesn't de-manifest and it completely manifests. And I told Steve, I'm not scratching this one off because I haven't found the prince yet. I don't think any of these guys are the ones that are going to make me scratch what I'm looking for. But I guess what I'm saying is, like, I have this on the list, and all these men are showing up in my life. Like, I'm saying, please, stop. I mean, I can't deal with this right now, you know, because it's kind of driving me a bit crazy. So, and it's all your fault, Steve.
Yeah, it's always my fault.
It is.
Yes.
I mean, I have all these guys hitting on me right now, I'm talking all ages.
Be careful what you wish for.
I'm telling you, I went to Florida 3 days ago, right?
Uh-huh.
This kid that went to pick me up in the airport ends up wanting to take me to his place. I was like, what the F It's your fault, Steve.
It's my fault. That's all right.
Yeah. So, I mean, guys, I couldn't go on and on and on because I've done it a couple of times. Finances, big thing for me. It was driving me absolutely insane because I'm an actress and my visa only allows me to work as an actor in this country. I can't do anything else. I come from business. That's what I did before, sales and marketing in my life, and I feel like half of my brain is being wasted. And since I worked my last list about the finances, I haven't stopped working. And the great thing is I've been doing a lot of working in my acting. I'm on a set either as a principal or a background, which I was refusing to do before. But then I said, you know what? It's like, if it's coming my way, I'm going to do it. It's a way of making money. I'd rather be on a set being background than waiting tables because it's my business. It's what I do. Then yesterday, you know what the Florida thing was? A friend of mine called me, and he says, Nana, I need you to bring a part, or anybody in New York to bring me a part because I have a plane in Aruba that is on the ground because we have a part that's missing. That is damaged. I'm going to pay you for that. And he paid me really, really well just to go look for a part, get on a plane, go to Florida, have everything paid for, hotel, a car waiting for me in Miami to do whatever I wanted while I was there. Just paid me for that. I went to Orlando. Somebody called me. I met you at this event. Do you want to come? Blah, 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 blah. And all these things have been happening lately. And it's like, oh, my God. I mean, you want me to go on? I mean, this is...
No, I think they're ready to start, but remind me to send you a bill for that emergency visa work.
Yeah, right? But, like I said, guys, the trick here is to be as specific as possible because otherwise, something like what happened to a friend of mine, she didn't, this was some time ago, but she said that for years she's an actress, and she said that she wanted an Oscar. And sure enough, 10 years later, her boyfriend is called Oscar. Right? We were cracking up because she's like, oh, I wish for this. And you know what my boyfriend's name is? And I'm like, no, please don't. Please don't tell me. And sure enough, he was Oscar.
There you go.
And I think that's the same thing that happened to me with this guy that I met in Coral Gables. It was like I wanted and he was, he was a lawyer. He had the looks. He was sexy. I mean, all these things. And I'm like, what in the world is happening? And that was like literally the day after I did the list. Literally.
So I told you it would be quick,
Yeah. So some things manifest like really quick. Others have taken a bit longer.
Yep.
But
all right.
But certainly being specific is a huge part of it.
I'm going to get these guys started because after hearing your story, they're all dying now.
Well,
hang out. I know you got
very,
new ones to put on your list, so hang out.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
We got to talk, Steve.
We will.
All right, darling.
Call me
Love you.
Call me later. Love you too.
Okay. Bye.
Thanks, dude.